notice anything different? Don't look. But I'm in my new place and I have my bookshelves up, so that means we've built our bookshelves and we're gonna do a bookshelf tour. It's a whole palaver, but first of all, let's rewind to me actually packing up my book, and then me actually building my books, and then me actually putting my books on the shelves, because it's been a whole process to say the least. So let's get into the video. So the first bit of this move-in situation is obviously the books, as I've already mentioned. I've got 5 of these IKEA moving boxes. They're the biggest ones they have. I think they're 80 litres. Apparently you can hold up to 30 kilos. I physically don't think I can carry a box that's 30 kilos because my arms are like spaghetti and my upper body weight is non-existent. So I think we'll have to fill these like halfway. Do I know how to put these boxes together? Not a clue, but we will try our best. It's got like pictures. We've got instructions. Oh my fucking god. But I have no idea how these go. They're not very wide. Like it's deep, but it's not wide. Okay, so I think the short bit goes at the bottom, so step on. Done. Step 2 complete. Reach. That is not big at all. Like, it's not very wide. I thought it was quite wide, but it's not very wide. I'm not going to fit many books in these, and I've only got 5. But I guess there's nothing left to do other than just start packing. But I think I'm going to divide them up. So I'm going to put all my romances together, all my fantasy together, and then maybe I'll put all my TBR cart in one box, and then I want to do another box. I think I'll do this box first as the books that I'm unhauling, because I want to keep them in a separate box. So then, because I know then that I won't have to unpack those books, I can just keep them inside the box ready to be put on Vinted. So I think that's what we're going to do. I've got so many books I need to unhaul. I'll go through them quick fire with you now, but like I'll just quickly show you the books that I'm unhauling, because I've got a whole dedicated book unhaul video for that. So we're going to ignore all the mess. We've got mess everywhere. Please ignore it, okay? But this whole shelf here is everything that I'm unhauling. So you got all these different hardbacks up here, and then more hardbacks. I've got a bunch of like just random books everywhere, and then if you go up here, we've got more books on top of that I'm getting rid of, and then there's also some books on my shelf. So these like indie versions of the Elsie Silver books, I'm gonna be getting rid of those. There's like some other indie version books here that I'm getting rid of. I'm still debating whether or not my Consider Me down here, so the Playing for Keep series, like of the first 3 books in the indie published ones, I don't know whether I want to sell those yet because I haven't read the series, but I think I probably will, because she's bringing out more books in that series, but they're not going to be indie published, like the indie covers, so I'll probably get rid of those. There's some other books at the bottom, like some of my Colleen Hoover books that I'm finally parting ways with, and there's just a bunch of other stuff. My Magnolia Parks things and like Sergio Mass books aren't going to be touched, and they're not going to be touched, but there's some books here that just need to be unhauled. So that was a quick overview of all the books I'm going to unhaul, but the things like the Elsie Silver ones I'm just going to keep over there for now, but the ones that I know for definite I'm getting rid of, so the ones that I showed you on top of my wardrobe, and then the ones on the shelf in front of me there, those are going to go in this box by here. So let's just do that now.
Where it was needed.
Need to take some of those books out. See if I can remember how to do this off the top of my brain.
In the eye of time, nobody is losing. Faces merge and change, but your face remains the same. When we're finally sober, they'll be gone.
Ta-da! I've got like 3.5 boxes here filled. They weigh an absolute 10, and I've only got 2 boxes left. and I haven't even touched my bookshelves. I've cleared my TBR cart and I've done all of the books that I'm going to be selling. They're all packed away. Just gotta do the bookshelves, but I've only got 2 boxes left. We can only do a little bit. I'm just going to fill the boxes and to see sort of how far we get, because I've got to be able to lift them still. Like I can't fill, like they're not filled to the brim because I physically cannot pick them up, and I'm scared if I fill them up too much then like I'll lift it up and then I feel like they're all just gonna fall from the bottom because they are only like IKEA moving boxes. I don't know how sturdy they are.
In the eye of time, nobody is losing. Faces merge and change, but your face remains the same. The swallows will be here by dawn. And when we're finally sober, they'll be gone. The trees will bloom and ice will melt. We'll always remember how it felt.
So, I'm so out of breath. I'm done. Well, I wish I was done. I've cleared 1, 2, 3 and a half shelves. I was gonna try and, like I could have fit these in the box, but because they're like the indie versions, they're quite heavy because they're really thick paper and like a thick cover. But we've still got a shelf and a half to go. So I would probably need another 10 boxes I think I need to order. These are millimeters. Who measures millimeters? I need to make sure I don't get too cocky because my main issue is that I get way too cocky with these things and I think I know best, and then I end up fucking it up, and then I end up having to dismantle it and then put it all back together again. I'm sure the Billy bookcases aren't this complicated. Why have Argos got to be so complicated for? I can't, it's too much. Oh my god, I thought I put this on the wrong way. I haven't. I'm gonna have I think I might go get a power drill. I've literally got calluses on top of calluses. My skin is peeling. I'm not cut out for this, guys. Let's go buy a power drill because my hands, I can't do it. I need a power drill. No. I'm back with the drill. We've got a drill. Like a electric screwdriver, which is what the man recommended me because I think I went in and I was like, I need something to help me build a bookshelf. I don't need anything really powerful or really expensive. I just need something simple and cheap that would help me screw these screws into the bookshelf. And he was like, you need an electric screwdriver, not a drill. I was like, thank you very much. And it was on sale. It was down from £20 to £12. Thank you very much, Screw Fix. I need it that way. Right, yeah, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay. Okay, oh my god, that was an absolute game changer. Everyone, you need to get yourself one of these. Okay, I just need to hammer the back panel on. I hate hammering things because I'm in a flat, like a studio flat. There's people like right next door to me, and people right below me, so I fear they may be sick of me, and I haven't even been here a week. Like if I put it up against my bed, like diagonally, Would that be better? So I've put it on my bed. Hopefully it won't make as much noise. Fingers crossed. I've done something wrong and I knew this would happen. I think I'll just have to get white paint, but this is what I've done. Up here is meant to be white. I've put it on back to front. It's just not right. That is meant to be white. So now I've just got like a brown bar at the top. Well, no, that's the bottom. I need to flip this round. Let me flip it round. And I need to move all of the boxes from in that corner out so I can put the bookshelf in there. I think I'm just going to put the boxes on my bed because I need this floor space to be able to build the second bookshelf. So I'm going to put all those boxes on the bed and then we can put that in the corner and then we can build the second bookshelf. Welcome to my bookshelves. They're obviously bare right now and we need to fill them up ASAP because I need to get rid of these boxes in my room because they've been here for like a week and I'm sick of having my room like an obstacle course, and the majority of these boxes are books, so we need to unpack these books ASAP. Thank you very much. Now, my desk is like here where I've got like my computer and things on it. So I'm thinking it's very cramped by here. It's a small space. There's not much I can do about it because your gal's on a budget because she's going to Australia at the end of this year. So I'm thinking romance in the back and then fantasy by here. Maybe because I think maybe because if I'm filming in my head, I can have like my computer, so I'll be like sat here and then the romance can be behind me because I prefer the look of my romance books, if that makes sense. But 9 times out of 10 I'll probably be filming like this, so you'll probably see both, so it doesn't really matter. But in my head, romance, fantasy, we're going to do the romance first because they're the ones that are in the big boxes, so I want to get those out the way first and then we can do the fantasy and then we can do a TBR card. So excited to have this done. I do think though that these bookshelves are smaller than the Billy bookshelves. I went for the Argos bookshelves, so I think I'm gonna have to put some books at the top. Yeah, these are definitely smaller because in my Billy bookshelves I couldn't reach the top, so I think we are gonna have to put some books at the top here, but let's just do this. Right, what's in this box? So I just got a bunch of random books in here, I think. So I think what I'm gonna do is just gonna pull them out and then try and see. Like I'll just randomly put them on the shelves and then we can see how it's gonna go. Cue the time lapse of me doing that. What's this? Gold Rush Ranch? These Elsie Silver, I think it's the Gold Rush Ranch. Race Off to the Races, Photo Finish and all them books. These are the indie versions, but I don't love the series enough to want to have doubles of them. Like if I had the indie versions of the Chestnut Spring series, I would keep them. But kind of prefer like the new covers, and I don't love the series enough to have multiple copies, so this is going in the Vinted pile, which I promise I have got an unhaul coming soon. I've got 4 boxes. Literally 4 of these big boxes full of books to go into Vinted, and then we're adding more to them. Found some hidden romance books. I think there's like some hidden romance books in small boxes, so I'm gonna have to go through those. Yeah, I definitely will. Like, where's my Al Kennedy books? Also gonna be getting rid of these indie versions of the Playing for Keeps series, so Vinted pile, where are you? Oh, things are falling. Where are all my Al Kennedy books? I actually have no idea where all my Al Kennedy books are. I found the Graham Effect and stuff. Where's like the deal? We've discovered another box of books, but I don't think they're in here. I have no idea where those books are. I fear they've gone missing. I'm sure I've checked every box. There's 1, 2, 3 Vinted boxes there. Fear not, I have found them. I have no idea where all these books are gonna go. I actually have no idea. Okay, now that everything is roughly put on these shelves, I have no idea how they're all gonna fit. We're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna try and keep it relatively the same. Like, I liked the way that I had it last time. Like, I kept all my Jesse Hastings books together. I had all of my like summary romances together, and then I had some cowboy romances together, my sports romances together, and then I just had like random books at the bottom, like a mix of like billionaire romances, standalones, that sort of thing. So let's try and fit these together. I think because we're limited on space, I am gonna have to like double stack books. I know a lot of you don't like books stacked up like this, but I need to utilise as much space as possible, so we're going to be doing that. Oh, hardbacks don't fit that way. Put in this little space for here. I feel like not much is gonna fit in there. I'm not gonna lie, I think I might get rid of these Magnolia Parks books. Like, I know I love the book, but I don't need 2 editions. Plus, I'm going to Australia, so all of these books are gonna be in storage. And if I end up staying in Australia, like maybe not, maybe I will. But if I do, then I'm only going to be able to ship so many books at a time to Australia, because that's going to be expensive, and I don't think I'll have the funds for that. Like, if I want to permanently live out in Oz, like, what am I going to do with these books? So I think I'm going to put these in a donate pile. I hate how I'm going to have to move them and do like Magnolia Parks here, because these are wider. I think I'm going to do that. Is that the right order? Does that look stupid? I have no idea. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. We'll come back to it. I've got too many sports romances. Ugh. I'm trying to keep ice hockey together. Oh wait, actually, I'm gonna take these off over here and put my Twisted series here. Okay, now back to sports romance. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of one of these daydreams, but I don't want to. I've got 3 copies. I think I'm gonna get rid of the works version and then keep these 2, because one's signed and the other one's signed, and then the other one is like the sprayed edges from Waterstones. So this is like the end of my sports romance, and then I usually keep the bottom shelf free for like random books that I will never read. So I think I might like start there, and then I might be able to fit like my dark romances then at this bottom shelf, fingers crossed. But this is like stacked, like literally stacked. I'm gonna end up buying new books, and I'm gonna have to try and reshuffle everything around, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm just gonna get these on as best as I can. I have these Colleen Hoover books that I just like cannot part with. I don't know why, I just physically can't part with them. I think I'm gonna keep It Ends This, Ugly Love and Verity, and then I'm gonna get get rid of Layla and Heartbones. Yeah, because these are the indie versions anyway. So I think these might have been republished. Even if I want to rebuy them, because I did really enjoy Heartbones. It was like a 5-star for me when I read it at the time. So I think I'm going to get rid of these just because they're the indie versions, and then I can keep, and then if I want to buy them, then I'll just buy the published versions. And also Too Late, wasn't a big fan of this, so I'm going to be selling that on as well. And then we've just got a whole bottom shelf spare that I'm going to put some dark romances down here, and then I think I'll just keep this bottom one free for now. This is literally my whole dark romance collection. I do want to buy, I do enjoy dark romance when I read them, but it's just actually reading them. Like, I really want to get the rest of the Brutal Prince series by Sophie Lark, and there's some like other dark romance books that I really want to get as well, so I think I'll just keep this bottom one free for whenever I do buy dark romances. But I think this just might be a mix at the minute. I think I might just put dark romance and like thrillers at the bottom of here maybe. I don't know, let's just put the dark romance on first. Ta-da! It's all complete. I'm obviously going to accumulate more books over these next 6 months while I'm living here, so I think obviously I've got that little space at the bottom, and I've got some like space here, and then I'm gonna probably have to like stack on top of other books, and then I've obviously got the space up here as well, so it's kind of like the same as I had in my other house, kind of not, but I'm gonna have something to eat now because I'm absolutely ravenous, and then we'll move on to the fantasy, which I think is going to be the hardest because we haven't got much space. I think I'm gonna have to put some like maybe some of like my hardbacks at the top up here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know, not all of them, but and fantasy is probably gonna stay the same. Like, obviously I'm gonna keep all my Sergio Mass books together, I'm gonna keep all my YA books together and things like that, but we'll see how it goes. But first, food. Okay, so I'm back. I had the most random dinner ever to exist because I've got the most random stuff in my fridge ever to exist, but it doesn't matter. I've eaten. I feel a bit better now. Now let's do the fantasy shelf, which I'm scared for. Yeah, I'm scared for the fantasy shelf. I'm don't know how I'm gonna do this, but once this fantasy shelf is done, we are done. We're done, and I'm so excited for it to be over because I've actually got a night shift tonight, and it's currently 6 o'clock. And I've got a night shift at 10, so I'm going to have at least an hour or two sleep before my night shift. At least an hour. So I'm going to get this done by 7. Yeah, I think if I aim for 7, that I can get into bed. I can sleep then for a little bit. But that's got nothing to do with this video. Let's put our fancy books on the shelves. I think I'm going to do what I did last time, like with the romance books. I think I'm just going to put them on the shelves roughly at where I think I want them, and then we can go from there. So let's do that. So the Academy books there for a sec, and then we can focus on arranging this mess. I have no idea where to start. I guess I'll just start with the top shelf. Oh no, I'll start with my ACTA books, I think. Oh, I need to get some reading orders up. Right, we'll start with my indie shelf, which is basically just a GLA shelf and a Madrafty shelf. I don't know whether to put these books in reading order or series order, so do Blood and Ash first and then Flesh and Fire books, or intertwine them as reading order. I think I might do reading order because I haven't finished the series yet, so I think in my head that makes more sense because I know which book is next. Yeah. Good chat, guys. I need one more book in between these two. Nothing will fit on my Sergio Mass shelf. I don't want to do that. I just want these to fit on top of here. Why can't they just all fit? Oh, they do, never mind. But when I get the third one, like when I get the paperback of House of Flame and Shadow, they're not all gonna fit. What can I do with these? Luckily I don't have the Throne of Glass series as well, otherwise I would be screwed. Should I get rid of my hardbacks for Fourth Wing? I think I might get rid of my hardbacks for Fourth Wing. Like, I'm just trying to think of like future Brie and like when I move in. So I think I might get rid of my hardbacks. Say bye-bye. Oh, I don't think I can. Yeah, Brie, you can do it. You can't take them to Australia with you. I don't like my Sarah J Maas shelf and I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I wish this was live so you guys could help me, but it's not. I might split them up. I might do Arcata and then Crescent City down here, and then I can have my Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame and stuff, and then I can put my Zodiac Academy books here on this shelf as well. Maybe if there's room. Let's try that. I'm done. Well, kind of. I need to do my TBR card, but quick little time check. It's 6:30 now. I feel like we did that in good time. And we're now going to do my TBR card, get that done. I'm not like 100% happy with it. Like my fantasy shelf, I like my romance shelf, but I'm not 100% happy with my fantasy shelf because a lot of my fantasy shelf needs to stay together. Because I have a lot of like indie and traditionally published books that need to stay together. I have a lot of like hardbacks and paperbacks, so there's just like a lot of space, and like because they're big series as well, like with fantasy, like my GLA takes up like half a shelf, you know what I mean? My Zodiac Academy obviously takes up like 3/4 of a shelf. My Cassandra Clare books, I haven't read a single one of those books, but I'm keeping them for now. Maybe we will, maybe we won't read them, who knows. I think over time, once I get some bookends, I'm going to put my Zodiac Academy books right at the top and I can just have bookends either side of them. But for now, they're just going to stay there because I don't want them to be on the shelf because they're really heavy and I don't think these shelves are as good as the thing ones, the Billy ones from IKEA, so I'm scared they might start bowing. But let's do my TBR card.
Significant light, just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing.
Ta-da! I'm all done. It feels good to have this done. My room seems so much brighter because all of the boxes are now gone. The only boxes I have left are things that I couldn't unpack because I didn't have the space to unpack them because of all the books. So I think I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes left of like my normal stuff to unpack, and then I've got 4 boxes of vintage stuff which I need to get through. But I don't know where I'm going to keep my vintage stuff. I'll just keep them outside in the hallway. But let's do a little bookshelf tour. I'm not 100% happy with it. It's good enough. It's good enough for me. Okay, so let's start. Where should we start? We'll start romance first, and then we'll do the fantasy, and then we'll do the TBR card. So you gotta mind the mess behind me, obviously. But there's obviously some books missing because I've put them on top of my TBR card because that's my monthly TBR. So if it looks like there's like some gaps, it's because that's on my monthly TBR. Let's do a little tour. So up here we've got all of my sort of like summer romance, I guess. You've got some Sarah Adams, Abby Jimenez, just like the queens of summer romances. And then we go down, we've kind of got like a country / like small town romance kind of situation going on. And then we've got sort of like Hannah Bonham Young books because I feel like they're not really small town but they are small town at the same time, so we've got those for there. And then coming down we've got my Magnolia Parks shelf / Anna Huang. Obviously I've got rid of these because I kind of don't need them because they're just sort of like in the way. And I know like I like having second books of them, but I've got the special editions, and I know that she's probably going to come out with special editions of the Daisy Hates books, and I don't need 3 editions of the Magnolia Parks books. Like, that's insane. I really don't need that. So I'm going to get rid of those. I'm not a big fan of the covers anyway. I much prefer the OG covers, and then obviously then with my special edition books, these are obviously much nicer. So a lucky one of you will be able to get your hands on those Magnolia Parks books, which I think I'm going to be filming on Thursday when I'm off. I've got work now. Who's ringing me? Oh my god, my manager. Sorry, a rude interruption from my manager. But anyway, moving on. I can't remember where I was on. But let's carry on with the tour. So moving down from the Magnolia Parks books, we've obviously got my, I guess you can say, extensive sports romance shelf. Mainly all hockey romance, but here I am going to be getting the new covers of the deal and stuff. I did have the old covers, but I'm putting those in Vinted, and I'm going to buy the new covers for those. So I will have the new covers all to match those by there. But all hockey romance. And then going down, we've got some more sports romance. And then I've got these Colleen Hoover books that I just can't part with. I don't know why. And then we've just got a random shelf down here. We've got all this space by here. But we've just got dark romance and then some like thrillers, but they're on mystery. But that was my romance shelf. A quick tour for you. Obviously, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on these, but let's go to the fantasy shelf, which you've literally just seen me do, but let's do a full in-depth tour of them. So up the top, we've just got like, I don't really know what this shelf is. It's just like trilogies, duologies, but they're more like adult fantasy than YA. My YA is like right down the bottom down there, and then we've got all of my sort of adult fantasies by here. Obviously you would have seen me say that I'm going to get rid of my hardbacks for Fourth Wing and stuff, so I'm hoping soon Onyx Storm, Onyx Storm in paperback comes out, so then I can put that up there. So there is like a little bit of a gap next to here, so there will be room for me to like add another book. But I also think the 4th book in Book of Azrael sort of series, Gods and Monsters series, is either out or is coming out. So I want to get that, so that will probably go up there as well. So these shelves are going to be reshuffled and reshuffled and reshuffled all the time. But moving on, we've now got my sort of like indie published shelf, kind of. But you've just got all my GLA books. I've got more GLA books that I need to get, but right now, because obviously there's like a big gap at the end of the year, I've just got my Ever-Broken Fate, Ever-Broken Kingdom, and Ever-Broken Souls, and my special edition of Ever-Broken Fate at the bottom, all by Mad Rafferty. Love her, she is a queen. And then we've just got like my Metal Slinger out on display there. It was on the side, but there was like a massive gap, so I just move that out on display, and then when I get more of those books I can move that over. And then the bane of my existence, this bookshelf. This was the worst bookshelf ever to try and organise. I'm going to bring you over here because I really need to sit down because my back is in half. But we've got my ACTA shelf, kind of. Well, Sergio Mass shelf, not ACTA shelf, but we've got all of my hardbacks. These are like the special editions. How lush. I bought them all off Etsy. They're just like the original hardbacks of, I always get questions about these, but they're the original hardbacks of the ACTA series, and then I've just bought the dust jackets off Etsy. I'm not too sure. Last time I checked, I tried to send a link to someone to the Etsy shop that I got these from, and her Etsy shop had closed. Well, she was like, not permanently closed, but she was like away, so she wasn't selling these anymore, but I don't know whether they're still up. I'll have to have a look. If they are still up, then I'll put them in the description down below, but if not, then I apologise. But then we got my Crescent City. You're probably wondering, Brie, why do you have Crescent City in paperback and hardback? It's because I love that series, okay? It is my number one series. Okay, I live and breathe Crescent City. I compare so many books to Crescent City. Like, I don't understand how people say it's so boring. Like, I watch some people and they're like, oh, it's such a drag, how am I getting through this? I loved every single page of every single book. The only reason why I didn't love House of Flame and Shadow that much was because of Bryce's character, not because of the writing, but it's because of her character development. Otherwise, big slay across the board. We got my ACTA books, and then we've just got the paperback versions. And then moving down to this shelf, like I've already mentioned, I think I'm gonna try and get bookends for these and then put them on the top of my shelves, because I kind of like don't want it to stop but win, and then it snaps. Let me like move you back a bit. It's a bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna get bookends. I might have looking like TK Maxx or something like that. Probably a bit easier there. Like they always do like random stuff. I don't even need like proper bookends. I just need two things. I need bookends. But then we've got my, what's this called? Kinder's Curse series. I've got the indie published and then the, what's this called? Like the traditionally published versions. I love the indie versions. Like the indie versions are so pretty. And then we've got my Sacred Stones trilogy here. The last book, which is A Reign of Rose, is actually on my TBR card because it's on my TBR for the month of July. This is it here. I'm very excited to read that. But that would usually just go in this little section here. And then we're going to move on to the next shelf down, which you can't see right now, but I'm going to show you another angle. So we've got, obviously, you've seen my Cassandra Clare collection, which I've only got so far the Mortal Instruments books and the Infernal Devices books, that's what they're called. And I think you have to read the first 3 books in Mortal Instruments, and then you got to read the 3 books of Infernal Devices, and then you got to go back to the last 3 books of Mortal Instruments again. I think that's how you got to read it. There's a really there's like 10 different ways you can read these books, like the series, the Shadowhunter series, which I am going to get to one day because I am really intrigued. But anyway, moving across, we've got Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy and a Caraval trilogy. I did have the UK versions of the Caraval trilogy, but I despised them. Like the covers of them were horrible. They were like on the sides and they had like the stripy sort of sides. Yeah, no, that wasn't for me. So I've put them up on Vinted, and I've had these like American versions for quite a while. Much prefer the American versions for the Caraval trilogy, but I also then much prefer the UK versions of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. Yeah, so that's why there's a mix of UK and US covers there. And then moving along, we've got our Defy the Night trilogy by Bridget Kimira, and then we've got a Laura Sebastian trilogy. I haven't read those yet, but I just leave them on my shelves instead of putting them on my TBR card. Maybe I should put them on my TBR card, and then I can put those Victoria Avia books I haven't read, so they can go on my TBR card. Yeah, I'm gonna put these Victoria Avia books on my TBR card because I didn't really know where to put them, but I'm just gonna put them on my TBR card. But I think I'm just gonna leave those Ash Princess and Ember Queens on there for now, maybe, and then when I get more of the Ember in the Ashes books by Sabata here, I think I'll then put those on there because I don't really want there to be a bit of a gap there. But then we've got like this whole shelf at the bottom down here. We've literally got this whole entire shelf, which is free. And then we've just got some 3 hardbacks, random 3 hardbacks. We've got Divine Rivals, Ruthless Vows, and Silver in the Bone. And that was basically all of my fantasy shelf. And probably, obviously, I've got that massive shelf at the bottom. I'm gonna have, if I put all of these up there, I'm gonna have so much more room because the amount of books I've unhauled is insane. And looking at my bookshelves now, I'm happy with them. Like I don't look at them and think that there's anything missing. Like I look at them and I think, oh, these are all the books that I enjoy. These are all the books that I'm going to enjoy and that I'm excited for. I think the only thing will be hard to part with is my hardbacks for Fourth Wing. I don't need them. It's just like overconsumption. I'm not one of those people that's like overconsumption, blah, blah, blah. Like you've seen how many books I own. I own multiple copies of multiple books. But I'm just thinking ahead, like when I go to Australia, there's a fat chance I might be out there for a long time. And if I want to stay out there, like I don't know what my life is going to bring in a year's time. I know no one does, but like mine's going to be such a drastic change because I'm going to a new country. I might like want to stay out there, I might meet someone, I have no idea. But my camera might go off because the battery's flashing. But yeah, I have no idea what my life's going to bring. And in December now, well, the end of November, all of these books are going to be going into storage. They're going into my mum's house, maybe down my granddad's. I have no idea where I'm going to put all these books, but they're going into storage somewhere in 6 months' time. Yeah, let me quickly show you my TBR card and then this video can be done because I have no idea how long this video is. So this is my TBR card. So this is my monthly TBR. We've got Guild, Broken Blade, Reign of Rose, Funny Story, One Golden Summer, Killer Instinct, and Trial of the Sun Queen. And then just got my little Gregory. Is that his name? George Gregory. I think it's Gregory. Jelly cap there. And then going down, we just got a bunch of fantasy fantasy books here that like overflows here. And then we've got like a Donna Tartt book, which has been my TBR for way too long. We've got Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and then some romance books over here. And then let's spin it around. On the top here I just keep like my book sleeves, some pens, bookmarks, and this cute little light up mushroom thing. And then I just keep like my Kindle case and things like that there. And then we've got this whole shelf at the bottom, which is free, which is not an excuse to go buy Bookspree. And then we've just got a bunch of more fantasy. You can tell I've got more fantasy on my TBR than I have romance. But yeah, you guys are going to be seeing this little reading corner a lot in my videos. This is probably where I'm going to be filming all of my TBR videos and things like that. I've got my little computer here, so that's where I'm going to be spending a lot of my time as well, editing these videos. And then that side of my room, I wanted to keep this side of my room sort of like an office, even though it's a little tiny nook. It's literally tiny. I can probably reach both sides of the wall if I stretch out. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, because I know I didn't enjoy the process, but I definitely enjoyed finishing it for sure. So obviously if you did enjoy, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that jazz that I always ask you to do. And now I'm gonna tidy up my bed and I'm gonna go to bed for an hour or two before my night shift. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.